miraculous, in some cases, results. And so send in your praise reports and your prayer requests to ministry@thebigcall.net. And that's the only thing that should go to that address. We have a separate address for anybody that has questions or has information that they want to share with us about their projects or about Rebuild America or about the VRN. All of that is going to go to bigcallreplay@gmail.com. bigcallreplay@gmail.com. Okay? All righty. Thank you very much, Pastor Stephen. Thank you, Sue. Let's see, Sue. I'm excited because I know you have done several breakthrough sessions with a lot of our listeners that have put out some really beautiful results. And I know that you, as we get ready to shift and go to our new paradigm, there will be certain people among us, many of us are going to want to essentially change our identity, change who we are, and in that change, become our new selves, become who we are meant to be in our new lives. So with that said, I know that that's what the breakthrough sessions are doing. They are taking us to that next step in our lives. And I just wanted to use that by way of introduction to you to say I appreciate that that's what you're offering our listeners on the Big Call.
Well, thank you so much, Bruce. But it's really, really inspiring. It's probably the most inspiring work or creation I've ever done in my career, because to meet with someone, I'm going to call her E, and I wonder if she's listening. I met with a woman today over the phone, and this applies to everyone that I've met with. Another woman, K, another woman, D, another woman, S, a guy by the name of J, just incredible people. But this one woman, I'm going to highlight her for tonight. She's 88 years old. Mm-hmm. And to listen and to be with her and to hear her vision for what she wanted to do with these funds and how she was even going to, like her kids don't really want to participate in it, and she really doesn't have anybody around her to talk to about it. Mm-hmm. And just the benefit for both of us. I mean, I was so inspired about how God can use you and connect you and grow you nonstop. And we created her vision. We created her strategy for talking to her wealth team and how she would get people to, trustees that she could get, and legacy she could create, and mm-hmm. and discovering that at this age, at her age, she was about to transition into a brand new, exciting role. And this also applied to a guy out in California. I wonder if he's listening. It's like holding up a mirror and showing people who they're about to, not by telling them, but by pulling out of them what they love, what their vision is, and how they're going to honor both their service to humanity as well as their optimal, really what would be their optimal day and their optimal way of engaging with their teams. And there's actually a name for this, and it's called, and this is what I want everybody, if you want to write this down, we're all about to move into roles as transformational leaders. Let me describe transformational leadership theory. Is when a leader works with teams to identify needed change, creating a vision to guide the change through inspiration and executing the change in tandem with committed members of a group. That is called transformational leadership. And I love this quote. You guys won't know unless you're into marketing. Bob probably knows Seth Godin. Transformational leaders don't start by denying the world around them. Instead, they describe a future they'd like to create instead. So everybody on this call, everybody, to literally 100% of the people on this call are thinking outside of the box, tend to be alternative, have these huge hearts, Bruce, Bob, and Pastor, and everybody. I mean, it's like jaw-dropping to see what people come to the call, and this could be, working on, and we get this a lot, or I get this a lot, how am I going to navigate this? Who am I going to be? Or, what is my life going to look like? It's emotionally stepping into your big transformational shoes is going to be really, here's what I want to tell you, it's going to be really exciting. Yet, a lot of people, because they're looking more outside of themselves and what's happening outside of themselves, and they haven't, like Pastor Stephen was talking about, kind of gone inside to receive that, like, what do I want it to look like? Who would I love to work with? What would their values be? Approach. That's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take to design your future. This is going to be you and God completely letting go of the past, having the resources to help others, and then designing how am I, just like we said on the Tuesday's call, how do I look at my highest expression now? How do I operate at my highest expression now? So tonight what I want to do is have you write down 3 questions that'll get you ready and get your subconscious mind thinking and kind of beginning to create and play in your new role as a transformational leader. And these questions are designed to make it easy for you so you're not overwhelmed by, what other people are telling you, but you're leading yourself and you're listening to God and you're very clear in who you are and what your vision is and what you value. So here's the first question. If I could create and know that a different possibility was available to me where I could be at my freest and where I made my greatest contribution, where I could be at my freest and make my greatest contribution, what would that look like? What would that energy feel like? And how would I act? Just write that down. So you're free, you're making your greatest contribution, you don't have pressure, but you're generating and you're flowing and you're in your highest emotional state. And the next question is, if I knew that this change could be joyful, that this change could be safe. What would that look like? Who would I have supporting me? And what would I create with that? Just write that down. Because these are going to help you develop and work with, your spirit to consciously, this is conscious transformational leadership work. This is the stuff that when I do coaching, and I'm going to, if anybody wants to have a session on, like, what do they want their life to look like? And they're not going to get caught up in a lot of stuff swirling around them, but they're going to lead themselves and they're going to consciously create their life. That's going to save you, number one, it's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of chaos. But it's also probably one of my deepest passions is that we create whole transformational leaders. Whole. They're balanced mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. They're healthy. They're healthy in every area of your life. And it doesn't happen because you're leaving the past of the things that you saw about wealth, about leadership, about health. And now you're going to have the opportunity to create a healthy, balanced, nourished body, a great spiritual practice, a great connection and intimacy with the people that are around you, and a great balanced nervous system and mind, if you've been listening to these calls, that are going to allow that energy and that vision to come through you. So the goal of these questions tonight is to give you a platform, is to give you just a simple process that you can start evoking and invoking that deeper, higher, better part of you, and just dwelling on those questions for 2 or 3 or maybe just a week. That's going to deliver you to your vision, to what you really care about, to what matters to you, and then that gets transferred into your culture. Because when you have that, you're going to communicate that vision. You're going to be a stand for, everybody knows that I'm into health and fitness and well-being and leadership that's very conscious and responsive and mindful. So all of those are going to create a world where health, wholeness, connection, and commitment to the future of humanity will thrive. And I just hope that, if anybody feels like they're lost or, they just want to play in that space, that you'll contact me and I'll ask Bruce to tell you. And we'll help you feel grounded in who you're going to be as this new you and as this new leader, and directing people with the way those funds go out into the world. And that's my segment for tonight.
Very powerful, Sue. Thank you very much for that. Very clear. And I think what we need to realize is the breakthrough sessions that Sue's referring to are one-on-one coaching sessions that will allow you to step into your new life, your new experience, what it is you want to get out of yourself and out of life as you move forward from this point on. And that is creating a transformational breakthrough for you when you do set up and enroll in a private session with Sue, one-on-one, by phone. Now, to do that, 2 things. 1, you need a PayPal account. 2, you need $165 available to use for a breakthrough session. And 3, you need to take her email down and contact her as soon as possible so she can schedule you as soon as she can. And that would be Sue at successwaves.com. Sue, the @ symbol, successwaves.com. And let her know Yes, I'm interested in a breakthrough. Yes, I want a transformational one-on-one coaching session. However you want to word it, like that, she'll see that and she'll be able to respond back to you. And then, of course, it would help. Sometimes it helps if you put your phone number in the email, name and your phone number, so she'll know who she's talking to. Now, I recommend you do it. I would say time is relatively short for us. I would say it's a good opportunity for you to take advantage of this. Everyone that has a session with Sue comes out the other side in only an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, stronger, clearer, more defined, and with a much better approach to what it is we're looking forward to doing together. Okay? So, word to the wise, go ahead and let her know, even tonight, by email. Sue@successwaves.com. $165 on PayPal. Have it available and let her know. Okay? Fantastic. Thank you, Sue. Appreciate that.
My pleasure, everybody. Thank you, Bruce.
You're welcome. Now, let's transition over, because I'm going to have some intel for you guys coming up very shortly, so be ready. Bob, I'd love to hear something that you would bring to us tonight that can help us from a health and well-being point of view. How about it?
Sure. First, Bruce, I want to echo what you were saying about Sue's sessions. I get calls at our office all the time, and people will start out by saying something to me like, hey, I'm so glad, we got a chance to talk to someone here at the office, and I've been using your products for a year, and I've had a session with Sue that was really wonderful, and I have the Ultimate New Life Kit, and this is my question.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
So
Thank you.
it's like, and I get that all the time, and it's like, wow, this is so great. It just gives me this feeling that people are able, from listening to the big call, to have prayers and, that eventuate in praise reports, and they get teachings from Pastor Stephen, and then they have access to actually speaking directly with Sue. This is not, a radio show where there's some, distant philosopher that no one ever gets to speak to. You can actually call and get a direct session. So I just have to say, Bruce, you're dead on with that. And I'm going to go quickly tonight, Bruce, because it's getting all ready to be 10 minutes to 10.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm going to talk fast because there's a whole bunch of research studies that were announced today, and I love really following transformational leaders in the field of health and wellness. And there's one at Johns Hopkins University who's a neuroscience researcher like Sue, and he just released this study about inflammation and Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline. And this is the first study of its kind that was a longitudinal study that measured inflammation in people in their 40s and 50s, and then looked at their rate of cognitive decline against a comparison group that had lower inflammation, and they found this causal effect where if people have inflammation when they're younger, it has a direct negative effect on their cognitive ability and their chances of getting Alzheimer's disease. And they were measuring numerous biomarkers, including C-reactive protein, as the measure of inflammation. And their recommendation, of course, is, keep your inflammation down by watching your diet and exercise and taking the right nutrients. And then it also led me to remembering yesterday that there was a woman that was in my office, and she was saying that she had just had her inflammation measured, and she was really happy to report that it was down at 0.3. And this is a woman in her 70s, and she'd been working on getting it down using Boomer Boost and barley. And her doctor had commented to her that she looked younger than she did the year before when she had come in for her physical. And this is what actually happens when you can reduce your inflammation down very low. You can actually rebuild yourself faster than you're burning yourself up, and you will have a doctor's visit that results in the doctor saying, "Wow, you look younger than you did, last year," and it's measurable in your blood work. So that was one study that came out, and then there was another one that was talking about gut bacteria and how they have also tied the presence of certain gut bacteria, including different viruses and bacteria, also to cognitive decline. And a lot of it's related to bad gut bacteria and viruses creating more inflammation. This was a different study done by a totally different group, and they were referencing other studies about inflammation and gut bacteria and Parkinson's disease. And this is a number of studies like this announced today, and then a third one that was talking about malnourishment and how many people who are considered elderly, I mean, we don't consider them elderly, but people that are in their 70s and 80s, and how such a high percentage of people in the United States are actually malnourished. They don't eat the right foods, they don't take the right supplements, and they're at serious risk of numerous different diseases from malnutrition. And this, again, was a study